Hello again and welcome to the second video of Matrikulasi. This time, Unit 2, say it with words, say it with numbers. We are going to learn about how to express adjectives, quantities, and comparisons. With us today, we have Miss Christine Suyasa from the International Office. Please wave your hand. Say hi. And we have Miss Chrisma. She is the head of the Sastra English Study Program. Also, she is the head of the Matrikulasi Committee. Please wave your hand, Miss Chrisma. And we have Mr. Neil Wardhana with us, who is also in Sastra Inggris and D4 Manajemen Perhotelan. Halo Pak Neil. And Mr. Paul Clayton with us from South Australia, from Adelaide. And we have our special guest for today, Miss Suci Mertaningsih. Suci is a graduate of Undhira. She graduated a couple of years ago with a degree in Sastra Inggris. She is one of our best, actually, and she was the best graduate in the graduation ceremony of 2017, if I'm not mistaken. What year did you graduate, Suci? 2000 and...
I think 3 years, 2007.
17, yes. So
yeah,
she
3
is
years ago.
the best graduate of Undhira. Right now, Suchi is living in Japan, and we are going to speak with her about the place where she lives, what is it like there, and also we'll talk about a little bit about her role model later on at the end of the video. To begin with, I would like for Suchi to introduce yourself and where you are from, where you are right now, and what are you doing briefly.
Hello everyone, my name is Suci. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Bali, Indonesia. And right now, before I was a student in Dhyana Pura University in English department. I was really blessed to be able to study there. And right now I live in Japan in Kumamoto Prefecture. And I'm here doing an internship program in a noodles company called Itsuki Shokuhin Food. And I'm here working for 5 to 6 days a week and 7 hours, 55 minutes per day. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Okay, the first question. You are now in Japan, and of course, people speak Japanese there.
Yes.
And while you were in Undhira, you studied English, and I know you speak English really well. In your experience, which is more difficult to learn, Japanese or English?
Of course, Japanese. Why? In my opinion, because Japanese, we are using like a kanji. It is a Chinese characteristic, hiragana, and also katakana, and also romaji. So in Japanese language, this is a combination of all of those 4 parts that we must master to be able to speak. And also from the grammar structure, also totally different. It's like the opposite with English. And while in English, I mean, because I like English very much, so that's make me easier. I mean, I have like in my mind, in my opinion, English is like twice easier than Japanese. I struggle a lot when studying Japanese, but I'm very glad now I can speak Japanese a little bit.
But having learned English before as a second language, from I guess a third language other than Balinese as our native tongue and Bahasa Indonesia, so having mastered of English and now learning another language, did you find that helped you a lot?
Yeah, of course, that helped me a lot. I have an experience how to, I mean, my mind has, in my head, I already know how to study a language step by step. And then I applied what I have done when I studied English to when I studied in Japanese. Even though they have different characteristics, but it helped me a lot because I've an experience on learning English, so now I can apply that when I learn Japanese.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
So just learn a language, any language, then the next
Yeah.
languages you learn can become more easier. Yeah. What about living there? What do you find most interesting? What do you find most difficult about living in Japan? For how long have you been there now?
It's like 2 years. Wait, 2 years, 7 months. Yeah,
Okay. So what's
because
the
I will
most
be back to Bali in 5 months around that. Like next year in January, I think. Yeah.
okay? So what is the most interesting thing and what is the most difficult other than the language about living in Japan?
Other than language is a culture. I mean, people here is really polite. Everything is really polite, and like the politeness is double than in Indonesia. And sometimes it makes me like how I behave with these people. And in the level of language also, they have like Balinese language. They have polite, double like upper, and even the most polite. I mean, really polite, and that's also when I talk with my boss, something like that. Sometimes I just prefer speak in English than Japanese. And other than that, I also while the adaptation here, I mean, um, we are throwing rubbish, something like that. We must split rubbish into some parts. Which one is for recycle? Which one is for moirugomi, or because they burn it here? That's quite like confusing. But um, little by little, we can handle it here.
What about food? Are you okay with Japanese food where you are?
I'm totally fine with Japanese food. I like it because the foods here is really delicious and varieties. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice. Let's talk
yeah.
about your city. So you live in the city in the
Mm-hmm.
southern island of Kyushu. The
Mm-hmm.
city is called Kumamoto. Uh,
Yeah.
is it bigger or smaller than Bali, the island, or how does it compare, in your opinion?
Denpasar is bigger than Kumamoto City. I mean the city, just the city, not whole Kumamoto, just the
Mm-hmm.
city. Denpasar population much more than Kumamoto City.
And right now it's summer there.
Yes.
How hot does it get in your area in the summertime?
Now the weather is 33 degrees Celsius. That's I think much hotter than in Bali. But while the summertime it gets up to 37, 38, even 40.
And in the winter time, it gets cool and cold. Does it snow there in the winter time?
In winter time, we have it reached -1. It's totally freezing. Sometimes because we are in Kumamoto, see, we just have rarely snow here, like twice or 3 times during the periods. Not much like Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka. They have full, but we are here just sometimes.
Which of the seasons do you like the most?
My favorite is I think spring and autumn, fall. I don't really like winter because it's too freezing. I mean, it's just really painful to go to the toilet and outside. And in summer, we're just covered by sweat. I don't really like it, but I like spring and autumn the most.
Okay. If any one of us would like to visit the island of Kyushu or your area, in Kumamoto, or one of the bigger cities in Fukuoka, what are some popular sites that people can see?
Here in Kumamoto, we have Kumamoto Castle. It is one of the 3 greatest castle in Kumamoto. And then inside of this castle, you can, it's really interesting that inside of this big castle, we can do like hanami. It is a viewing cherry blossom in springtime, and that's really popular. Many tourists, not only local but also international tourists, visit this place every day. And even inside of this castle, that's also every week they have a Japanese performance like dancing, singing. I mean, and the second place that I think good to be visited is Mount Aso. This mountain have very huge, beautiful caldera. So when people visit this place, I I believe that the visitors will be amazed with everything around there. The villages and also the farms are just totally beautiful, gorgeous. And number 3, I think the next one in winter that's really worth it to visit, called Kurokawa Onsen. It is a natural hot spring in Kumamoto. And that's also really famous. Many people come to visit this place. And because Japanese believe that natural hot spring has mineral rich water, it can help us to, I mean, good for circulation, and also they have health properties and good for skin. And the next one that's are really common here, when people visit Kumamoto, that's a must to eat basasi. It is a horse meat, really delicious. I tried once. And this is the last one. It's called, in the midst of the city, huge city in Kumamoto, there is a nature and healing garden. It's called Suizenji Jojuen Garden. It is really beautiful, and it is a must to be visited.
Well, looks like we are going to book the ticket for the next available flight there whenever this
Here, please
COVID-19 is
come.
over.
Yeah.
It sounds wonderful. Now, Suchi is one of those students, I guess one of those people. Now, she is an alumni. Suchi is one of our beloved Undhira family members who is a living testimony of how we should keep our eyes open and for different opportunities and try our best. Because
Yeah.
I remember when Suchi was still a student of Undhira, uh, she was able to have an opportunity also to work for a nonprofit, global nonprofit, and she was able to visit the United States at the time. Now,
Yeah.
since we are talking about comparisons, Suchi, can you comment on what do you think is different between the United States and Japan and Indonesia? Just some few things that you notice.
Indonesia and America, I think both of this country can be said as a multicultural country, since inside of these 2 countries there are many people, many kind of people that has different kind of backgrounds and also religions, and skin colors also different. They have various beliefs and also practice. But in Japan, most of people here are Japanese. In terms of geography, I think both Indonesia and also Japan, we are in the part of Asia, while America, this country is located in Western Hemisphere. And I think from climate perspective, Indonesia is the only one that has tropical climate with two season, rainy season and also dry season. While Japan and also America, both of these countries have 4 season: winter and also summer and spring and autumn.
And autumn.
Yeah.
Yes.
And people here also, this is based on culture, I think, and also the food. Most of people like spicy food in Indonesia, but in Japan and also in America, they don't really eat spicy food. In America, they eat bread much more than the Indonesian people, because Indonesian people and also Japanese, we eat rice much more. Almost 3 times a day we eat rice. And other than that, and also in Western country, in America, like shaking hand, it's really common it shows respect to people we know, even when we meet first time. But in Japan, they have bowing as the sense of respect to others. They are really showing their feeling, their respect through bowing.
Speaking of family, as you know, as I mentioned, you are a part of Undhira family, but you also have your own family. Your sister, Asti, is also a graduate of Undhira, and she is also living in Japan. Describe to us a little bit about your sister.
My sister name is Asti. She was graduate from Dhyana Pura University. Now she is in Kyoto. From the appearance, she's taller than me, but she has light skin color, lighter than me. She is more beautiful than me.
And I think
I
we
think.
all can agree that you are both as beautiful as the other. Maybe
Oh,
that's a good way to make comparison also.
you're
You
too
say that she
kind.
is more beautiful, but we say that you are as beautiful as the other. And your sister Asti, is she younger or older than you?
She is younger than me.
And you're the
Course.
oldest, and you're the oldest in the family.
Yes, I'm the oldest in the family, and I also have 2 younger brothers.
I know one of your younger brothers is actually a current student here in Undhira. I know him.
Yeah,
His name is Yuda, I think, and
yeah,
he is now in his 3rd semester, right?
right.
And he's studying management study program. And what about
Yes.
your youngest?
My youngest brother, he is 13 years old, I think. He's just enter junior high school, but he's not living with my parents right now. He's live in the city in different area. He is smart and really hard worker. Yeah.
And I know all of you, all the 3 of you that I know, all of you are hardworking and very smart. And we hope that your youngest brother will also be an Undhira family.
I think so, because he said that he really want to follow sisters and brother to be a successful person. And I said, yes, of course, please join me. And then you are very welcome to come to my world, I said. So you must study hard and never give up.
That's wonderful. Okay, let's switch gear for a little bit. We are going to talk about role model or idol or idola in Bahasa Indonesia. Can you tell
Yeah,
us about one of your role models, about him or her?
I think Agnes Monica. Agnes Monica is a really successful person, and she is really talented singer and also really great on dancing. Yeah, she is really hardworking and love others, loves others. I think since she entered the music industry at the age of 6, oh my God, she is just unbelievable. She can do it. And then now it's been 26 years in music industry. Yeah.
Yes, and she's one of those Indonesian celebrities that don't get famous for doing bad stuff or just
Yeah.
for the sake of being famous, but she's
Yeah.
actually famous for actually doing really good work and
Yes.
achieving really many things that other people cannot. So, what else about her that inspires you?
She just keep moving on everything. She just set a goal, not only setting a goal in her mind, but also believe in herself. After she believes in herself, she just tries her best to achieve the goals that she set. That inspires me a lot. I also need to be able to set my goal and believe in myself, and then tries my best to make it happen.
That's true. Like she said, I think dream, believe, and make it happen.
Yes,
Um,
right.
it's important for each of us, especially for those of you watching in on Matrikulasi, as you are still in your late teens or maybe early 20s, to have somebody that to look up to, a role model
Mhm.
or an idol. So
Mhm.
it will inspire you to become a better person. Of course,
Yes.
everybody will be successful in their own ways. But
Mhm.
like Suchi, she is now going through this experience in Japan, good and bad. She will
Yeah.
take this opportunity and this experience. It will make her the person that she will become, and I believe so.
Mhm.
That's all the questions from me. I was wondering if any of the other panelists would have any questions for you.
Yes, Suchi, it is nice to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to
And
see
I
you
know it has been a
again.
long time. We haven't seen each
Really
other,
long
we
time.
haven't talked to
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other, but
Right.
it has been really a nice moment that we can talk right now.
Yeah.
Suchi, can
Mhm.
you describe a little bit what you are doing in Japan
Mhm.
at the moment for your internship?
Oh yes.
Thank you.
Since this is a noodle company, from the beginning, it's about 1 year and 8 months. I was in quality control department, and because we are just changing shift with other people, I mean, we are divided into some groups. So right now I move into food packaging department. So here we are just the noodles that come from the production area. We just shape it nicely, and then we just send it into the, I mean, we use palette over there, and then so just make it ready to be sent, not only in Japan but also overseas. We sell those noodles to America and also Thailand, something like that.
Does anybody else have any questions for Suchi? Paul, please go ahead.
We were talking about idols, people you admire, just a little
Yeah.
while ago.
Uh-huh.
At my age, there are not many of the people that I used to think highly of when I was younger still alive, and
Okay.
tend not to have so many idols as you get to this age. But I'm not here just for mutual admiration, but I have to say that from the moment that I met Suchi when I was teaching at Undhira, I used to respect her very highly, and I used to regard
Thank
her
you very
as the
much.
person who was worth looking up to her in her own area. She came through the orphanage system. She was very diligent in her care for others. She was a good student, a good member of her family who respected
Mhm.
her parents, a hard worker, outgoing, would do so much for everybody. And so while I was in Wadira, she was actually one of the people that I admired. And it's not
Oh,
usual that you admire people a couple of generations below you, but she was one
oh,
for me.
oh, thank you very much. You also inspires me a lot.
Oh, thank you. We're not here to trade compliments, but but yes,
But I
she has
learned
a very
so much
special.
from you.
And she has a very special place in my heart too as well.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, it's unfortunate that this year we are unable to invite any volunteers, as Mr. Paul is one of our volunteers. But Ibu Christine, can you tell everybody a little bit about the volunteer program and what kind of volunteers have we had in the past, and hopefully we'll also have in the future, so our new students can look forward to having these programs after this COVID-19 is past.
Oh yeah, for the incoming volunteers like Pak Paul, who have been joining our chat session here. And we also have another volunteer, for example, from Germany. They teach our student in physiotherapy. Yeah. And then we receive volunteers from United States. They were teaching English, and then we had volunteers from Japan, Ibu Katsuko. So all of the volunteers, they stayed in Undhira for at least for 3 months, at least. Yeah, usually they stay 3 months up to even 2 years, like Ibu Katsuko from Japan. So there are opportunity for Undhira students if you would like to sharpening your language. Whatever volunteer speaking, for example, Pak Paul will speak in English, so you don't have to spend extra cost for learning bahasa, learning other languages, because our volunteer will stay in Undhira, and then they will have divide their meeting sessions with you guys. And anytime you would like to come and talk, or even forming a club, a language club, you are free to do it. So yeah, that's the one of the privilege and advantage of being a Undhira students. You can speak directly to the native speaker using the language, foreign language.
And that's what we've been saying about opportunities. Undhira, we are all about providing the opportunities. Just like Mr. Paul, when he was here for several for several months and for so many years, he was able to communicate and get to know some of our students. So that's not every student, but some of the students who are actively involved, just like Suchi, just like the other students. So whenever this opportunity comes, whenever we have volunteers coming from wherever, just get yourself involved, don't be shy, and try to make the best out of it. Paul, can you give a little bit of advice for our students about how should they go about whenever we have volunteers, hopefully soon after the COVID-19 has passed?
I suppose the important thing is to not be shy. Even if you don't make the first approach to the volunteer, don't try and hide away. If a person like myself comes and sits next to you in the student canteen or in the little warungs on campus, I assume they're still there, they were in my time. I also used to run a small film group. We would occasionally as few as 2 people, when sometimes up to 10 people, would meet to watch films in English, or sometimes foreign films, but with English subtitles, so that people had the opportunity to listen to conversational English and to develop reading skills quickly as well. We would often meet beforehand for food and a chat. And being living on campus as I did, 5 years up on the top floor of Building C and 1 year in the Kampung Bali, that was a great joy, because I was there after hours, all through the day, lunchtimes, weekends, to join with English clubs and photographic clubs and other activities. It was a great joy for me. It was a really wonderful time in my life. And the thought of going and perhaps living off campus and trying to engage in the same activity is just not so appealing as living on campus. But I was there for 6 times, Pat Chris, 6 occasions for roughly 3 months each. And I returned in 2017 for 2.5 weeks, just to be there for the Wisuda and to see Suchi, plus some of the colleagues from the Sastra English class of that year. graduate. I'd had quite a lot to do with them over the years, and so it was a very special time for me too.
Really great opportunities that we are providing for our students here in Undhira. Before we close, Ibu Christine would also like to share something else regarding international program in Undhira.
Oh yeah, one more thing. The last thing I would like to invite you all to join our international program, where you are going to sit in with German students, with Japanese students in one class. And it's such a great program for you to learn other languages, and then also you will, I mean, have a creative idea for your project and things like that. So trust me, after you participate the program, and your capability of thinking in English and other things will increase and develop, and then you also able to have a networking with other students from Germans or from Japan, because we receive students from those countries. The other one is also we have students who are coming in from Japan, from Kansai University and Momoyama Gakuin University twice a year, and with Undhira students. We are arranging for a community service activities where you guys are going to help in the community with those Japanese students around 2 weeks in the villages. So it's such a great moment for you to build your networking.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And I think one thing I need to stress that now is this is open to all study programs. It doesn't have to be Sastra Inggris or management or anything. In the past, the exchange program would be easier for students from Sastra Inggris or management or D4. As Suci is actually one of our alumni from that program, along with other really successful alumni that have come out of that program. But now with Merdeka Belajar, Kampus Merdeka, everybody can join and get your credit for this. Once again, keep your eyes open for the different opportunities. Maybe we have guests coming, volunteers coming, this program and that program. Please check on Undhira's Instagram at Undhira Bali or our Facebook pages. The announcements coming from your program study, you will be able to see all the opportunities that are out there for Undhira students. Okay, and that concludes our session for today. Before we leave and say goodbye to everybody, I would like for you all to go to your Google Classroom and click on the link that provides you with a quiz. There will be a multiple choice based quiz regarding our conversation today. And please don't forget to put your name and contact information in that quiz so we'll be able to track you. And in your Google Classroom, you will see a new post titled My Role Model. In this post, we would like for you to describe about your idol or role model. You should discuss who this person is. Just choose one or two, preferably someone who's still living, because we are studying this in the present tense. So talk about what he or she looks like, her appearance, her or his personality, her or his achievements, and lastly about inspiration. Why does he or she inspire you? Now these prompts will also be included in the Google Classroom post. So just go there and write your paragraph and share it with the class. Be sure that you are ready to discuss this in our next Zoom meeting. Okay, everyone, I think that's all our discussion for today. We would like to say thank you for everyone in the panel. We say goodbye to Suci for now. Good luck with the rest of your stay there. And when you come back to Undhira, please visit us and share with us all your wonderful experiences.
Thank you very much. Of course, I'll visit Undhira next time.
And thank you, Mr. Paul, for being here with us again. And teladan dan unggulan dari Universitas Dhyana Pura.